Hey guys, welcome back to Easel Does It Studio. So I have been playing around. When I first started doing the wire wrap jewelry, I had tried the herringbone method with no luck at all. Well, I have finally figured it out. So I made this bracelet here, and this is probably, I'm thinking this is a large. Let me see here. Yeah, so this is like an 8-inch bracelet. So this would be a large. It's fairly big on me. I take about a 6.5, and I've got that much, it's that much too big. So I'll be making another one of these for me because I really like the look of this. So I made that one, and then I made this one. This one is also, this is like an 8. But this is how nice they sit on your wrist, guys. So this is, I believe it's an 8. Actually, it's a 9. A 9 without the clasp, 9.5 with the clasp. So this is, a larger bracelet, which is one good thing with this. You can, and this took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beads. So then I made this one. I made it a little bit different. I only used 3 beads. I used the large, I think it was 8 or 10 millimeter, and then 2 of the small ones. And then I just made some chain link in a clasp to go with it. And then this was the first one that I made. And then I made this, and this is with the, like the rondelle crystal stones. So they sit really good. Even with this bracelet, they all just kind of get along. So we are going to make one like this. We're going to use the dark green stones. So you're going to need, I used the soft stainless steel wire in 16 gauge for my base. And then for my wraps, I use stainless steel 22 gauge. And this is just regular stainless steel wire, because that way they're not going to tarnish. The only thing that might tarnish is the little beads, the little balls that I put on it, but that's also optional. So, and then we're going to need a few jump rings, and the tools that I use for this is my 6-step bail, my nylon pliers to straighten the wire, my memory wire cutters for the 16 gauge, and then my regular flat nose, not flat nose, flush cut snippers, my round nose, and probably bent nose too. Whatever works for you. And we're going to need the bent nose and the regular pliers to put the clasp on at the end. So I'm just going to move these out of the way. And I am going to pull out, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll do 5 beads. I will put the link to all of these beads that I got. I got them on Amazon as well as these. So I'm going to need a couple of these, like medium size. I'll get those out. So we're going to need 2, 4, 6, 8. We're going to need 10 of these medium-sized balls. All right. And then we'll need jump rings at the end. So basically, I figured out for this size here, oh, was it this size? They're about the same. It's 2-inch piece of the 16 gauge. So I'm just going to straighten some out, and I'm going to cut 5 pieces. So I wanted to jump on, guys, to tell everybody happy Thanksgiving, and hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. I have been extremely busy. I'm hosting here, and just been trying to get things done. So I'm really behind on videos, but I will get back on track, guys. I promise. And 5. So, and I'm not being extremely precise at all. So we have our wires for our base, for our big beads. And I used about, depending on the amount of wraps you want to do, anywhere from 8 to 10. So I'm going to cut 10 for this first one, because it depends how many wraps you want to make around your stone. Like this one has 5 on each side. And then when I got down to the end, I'm like, crap, if I put 2 more with 5, it's going to be too long. So I ended up doing 2 with 3. So you can see the difference, you know, in the length in through here. The overall length ended up still being about the same. It was a little bit smaller, but it worked out. So when I first started this, because I like to use stainless steel instead of a coated wire, you can do this in coated wire as well. So what I discovered, if I make just a little tiny loop at the end, I can start off much better. So you take your 16 gauge, you put your bead, and somewhere close to the center. And then what I do is I put this over it. And then hold the 2 with your finger and take this, bring it around. The first one is the trickiest. So bring it around like that. And let me just get my flat pliers here. And then give it a little, squeeze like that. So you have your wire going along the side of the bead. And then you're going to take this one, run it along the other side, over the top, come back around over the top. And what I like to do is give that a squeeze. So now we have our wrap started. And sometimes, like this one, it's a little bit higher than what I want. So I'm just pulling it down just a little bit. And then we're going to take this and we're going to turn it, bring this wire. This first one is like the trickiest, trying to get this one to sit correct underneath this second So that's how you want them. You want that second wire going underneath, but abutting it, like that. And then again, over the top and around and over the top. And then I give it a squeeze. Flip your piece. And again, underneath, over the top, around, give it a squeeze. So you can do as many or as little of these as you want. So we're on the third one on this side. See how you can see 1, 2, and this is going to be the third. Again, over the top and over. So once I figured out how this laid out, it became very easy to do, guys. So now we'll do the fourth one. And we'll do the fourth on this side. And you just want to make sure that that goes under that last wire and then up and over. And then we'll do the last one, which is the fifth one on this side. And then I just wrap that one twice because we're going to end it. And then you can take your pliers and kind of squeeze those in. And that way there, it makes everything nice and tight. Just a little bit. And then we're going to snip that real close. And then we're just going to tuck this around. Just like that. So now we've got our center things done. If you don't want to put a little bead, then you would just skip this next step. But if you want to put a bead, that's how it's going to look with the bead. And I'm thinking that's a bit too big. So let me just put these back. I don't know what I was thinking. Obviously, I wasn't thinking. And we're just going to take out 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So we're going to put this on here. And then we're going to take our chain nose pliers and we're going to bend this over. Now you can either use your round nose pliers or your bail pliers if you have them. I use the smallest bail on here and I might have to trim some. I'm just going to, I'm going to try it and see. Because I've been getting it so I don't have to, and then I'm going to flip this over so that I can, there. So I've got it to the point where I don't even have to trim any of the wire. And then obviously we've got to, you know, just get it straight. And then I give this a little bit of an arc in through here. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So I have made enough of these with these beads that I pretty much don't have to trim. But if you guys are not sure, and you can always go with a longer piece of wire. It's, you know, it's whatever works best for you. And I'm just going to... You know, and these could have actually been a smidge a smidge longer, but I think I would rather struggle with it being a little bit smaller than trying to have to cut just that little bit. So we have one link done. And then once you get it on your wrist, I just give like a push down on the 2 loops. All right, so let's get the next one started. And, all right, we're gonna go with 8.5 inches this time, just because I did have quite a bit left. So again, we're going to the tiniest little loop that you can make, just little. And then we're going to take our wire. We are going to pop a bead on it. And then we're going to put this so it sits flat on there, roughly in the middle, holding this tight, and wrap this around. And I like to try to get the first one up, you know, somewhat snug. Oh, and my top one fell off. So sometimes that will happen. A lot of times I will try to squeeze it when it's, all right, let me see if I can get this back on. Get my bead back on. Really, I've done a whole bunch of these today and I have had absolutely no problem. I go to make a video and yeah, this is what happens. And I had it this way. All right. So we'll set this again. We're just going to bring this, I'm going to straighten this out. You know what? We're going to cut another piece of wire. I'm not going to mess with that because I'm going to be here all night. I'm trying to make this, you know, somewhat of a quick video, but to show you the whole process on making it. So we're going to get that in, put our bead back on, and hopefully I am in frame for you guys. All right, so I'm going to give this a little smush, or try to, and I drop my wire. All right, so I'm going to hold this tight, bring this around over the top, underneath and over. Going to give that a squeeze. And give that a squeeze. There we go. And then we're going to bring this around and over. And we're going to give that a squeeze. So now we have our little bead all encased. And after that first wrap, it gets much easier. And the reason that I give this a good squeeze is to get this wire going, pointing downward, so that when I go to bring it up to this one, it sits nice and tight. And my thing is slid up, so I'm going to try to recenter that right away. All right. And then we're going to do the same thing, go underneath that wire, over the top and around, Plus, it's harder holding it out for video, but once you're doing it, you can position yourself where, you know, it's a little bit easier to hang on to. Give that a squeeze. Again, underneath, around. Push that down if you have to. I try to keep my wraps tight because then it doesn't move as much on the wire. So that's our fourth. And it gets a little out of shape, which is fine because we're going to straighten that out after. Underneath, oh, now that one's slid up on the top. So we want that on the bottom, up and around. And this is the last one on this side. And our last one on this side. And this wire is not wanting to cooperate, so we're just gonna give it a little bend down like that. And this one's gonna go on the bottom. All right, so let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And then I'm just going to give it a little tug down. A little tug down. And you can even, you know, squeeze these if you want, if one's giving you a really hard time, like this side. So I'm just kind of bending that down. And then we will give this a flush cut, and we're going to tuck it in. And this is a little bit stiffer wire, so sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate with me. So then we're gonna just put our bead on. And again, if you don't want to use this bead, then you just skip this step. And give it a little kink. So you can use your round nose pliers as well. You know, just like that. So sometimes if the wire is a little bit shorter, it's a little bit easier to use the round nose pliers. And I want that loop completely closed. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Give it a little bend, and we're gonna just start turning this in. So now we have our 2 components for our bracelet done. So we have 3 more. And we will be able to assemble this. So 8 inches worked, you know, 8.5 inches works really good. So again, we're going to do a little tiny loop. We're going to take one of our wires, your thicker gauge. Now I did do this with a 20 gauge, and the 20 gauge moves around a little too much for my liking. So that's why I went to the 16, but you can definitely use a 20 gauge. Because I think once these are like all assembled, I think, you know, the structure would still be there. All right, so we're gonna go around and over. And I'm gonna pull this down right now. And then we're gonna go around over the top. And I want this to come down just a little bit more. And then we'll give that a squeeze. And we just keep repeating the process. Underneath. And you really don't need to do the squeeze every time. I do, I don't know. I think it just kind of helps me kind of keep it going where I want it to go. And then we're going to do the third one underneath. Over the top and around. And same on this side so that it's underneath. So you can see you've got your third row going around. And again, underneath. And the side that you start on is always the one that gives you the problem. So there's the fourth. And we'll put the fourth on this side. And did I do 4 or 5? 5, okay. And the more you do these, the easier it becomes and the neater. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might not have enough. Nope. All right. So we're just going to stop this one at the 4. So maybe the 8.5, we needed that extra little bit. But it's, I mean, it's really not going to show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 5 on one side, 4 on the other. Oh, well. You know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 on each side. My old lady eyes are not what they used to be, guys. All right, so I'm going to give that a little poke down and around. And then we're going to put our little ball on. I'm going to give that a bend over. And then we're going to do our little loop here. There we go. Just want that closed because when we put our jump rings through, and you want to try to make sure that they're somewhat straight. There we go. And if they are both like going in different directions, like this one is flat and this one is kind of at an angle, just take either 2 chain nose or your bent nose or something and straighten them out. And then we're going to give that a little bend. And I mean, it's it's not much. It's just an arc like that. All right. So I will try and just get through the next few. And I'm going to go with 9 ounces. 9 inches. I'd rather have waist than not enough. So, and it doesn't really matter which way you make your first loop. I like to have it going in the direction that I know I'm going to be pulling it around. All right, so then I'm going to hold this, and this loop was a little bit big, so I just squeezed it to make it a little bit smaller. Try to get that in the middle. Over the top and around. Oh, why? Why must this do this when I'm trying to video? Why? Try this again. My goodness. I made a bunch of these today, and I didn't have the problems that I'm having tonight. Maybe because I'm trying to talk and do it at the same time. I don't know. But you guys all know me. You know how klutzy I am. All right, so then we're going to bring this. It's that very first loop that is your headache. After that, the rest of this goes really easy. Underneath that wire and around. Underneath and around. And underneath and around. Underneath, over the top and around. So when I first tried doing this, I wasn't getting where these wires were supposed to lay. So this is the fourth one. And that's the fourth one. And that's, and I'm short again. Well, what the crap? It must be I'm wrapping looser than I was earlier, something, I don't know. But it really is not going to matter. Because the top still looks the same. And if you want them smaller, you can like stop with 3 loops. Like this one here, I got it a little wonky. I got one side that's loose. But, you know, there we go. because I figure if I can get the size of the wire right and have less cutting, you know, then it makes it a little bit easier. Now this one has gone really wonky on me, but it's okay. We will get it. There we go. So every now and then you will have one that's just going to want to give you a hard time, like this one did. So I'm going to bend that over, and there we go. You just want to make sure that your loops here are closed so that when we attach these with the jump ring, we don't have them, there's no way for them to escape. Yeah, so I'm just going to even them out. I'm just going to give that a little bend and a little bend, and we will do our last one, and then we will put these together. I felt so bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even have a video for Thanksgiving. I wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and so we've got one turkey in the smoker right now. That's going to go till probably noontime, 1 o'clock tomorrow. Then I have another turkey that we're putting in the oven because my husband and myself and my daughter like in the bird stuffing, whereas everybody else likes stovetop stuffing. So in a smoker, you can't use, you're not supposed to put stuffing in because it cooks so slow. So this year I decided that I'm just gonna make a second one, and because usually the smoked turkey goes right away. Everybody goes after that one first. So what I did here is I just held my thumb down to keep it like where I wanted that wrap to be. And then, so yeah, so I've got, I cooked my turnip and my carrots in the pressure cooker. I got those done, so then I can just heat them up tomorrow. And then I've got my other turkey all ready. I've just got to stuff it in the morning. So my pies are in the fridge. I'm like, wow, it's been a busy week, let me tell you. And then I just found out that a girlfriend of mine published her first book. I didn't even know she was writing a book. Hang on, I need a drink of water. So I ordered that Friday, and I got it on Monday. I didn't pick it up until Tuesday, so I do want to start reading that. So yeah, if it's any good, I will put the link in the description if anybody, you know, is readers out there. And it's only, and it was only $16.99, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got one more to do on each side. So yeah, if I was you and your first time making it, go with 9 or 10 inches of your 22 gauge until you get the hang of it. All right. So we will give this a snip. And the reason that I like putting the beads, even though you can't feel it here, is it just kind of gives like a finished look at the end of your piece, I think. And this goes together so easy. Well, I say easy. I will show you where I struggled at first. I had to redo a couple of the links because I had these pieces were on wrong. So I'll show you how to do it so that you put them on right the first time. And if you wanted bigger loops too, you could go, instead of a 2-inch piece, you know, you could do a 3-inch piece. And you still wouldn't have that much waste. All right. Give that a little bend and a little bend. And now we've got our 4 pieces. So we are going to grab some small jump rings. I don't know what size these are. These are stainless steel. So you're going to need one to connect. So the best way to do it is on the first one, put one side through the piece and then grab that with your pliers. So that's the front, that's the back. So because I did that, I have to make sure that the back is matching this back. So that the two backs are together. And then we're just going to close our jump rings. And I go back and forth a few times to make sure that those are nice and secure. So now we have both our top facing. So we're going to get another jump ring. So if you put it on this way, you're going to put the backs together. If you put it on with the back up, then you're going to put your front sides together. See how I'm holding it now, the front? So on this one, we have to put the two fronts together. So when it opens, it's going to be like that. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. It's just your adjoining piece has to be opposite your first one. And I find it easier. Oh, that one worked actually pretty good. So again, now the bottom is right there. So I'm going to put the bottom of this one through this hook. So the two bellies of the bottom are touching. And then we're going to go. So now we have this sitting. So if you get to this point and you're like, oh, I like it fitting snug like that, then don't put the 5th piece on, because this is measuring, without the clasp, it's measuring a 6-inch bracelet. With the clasp on, I mean, with the other piece, you're going to be at 7.5. With the clasp, it's going to be another fairly large bracelet. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on anyways. All right, so I'm going to put that through. So that's the top. So when I put this side, I want to make sure that the top part is this way. Like that. So now this meets up really nice on the bottom with a little bit of an overhang. So where it's really close, all I'm going to do is put a clasp on this. I'm not going to put another hook. I'm going to use this as my hook. So I use the 16 gauge soft wire, and I take about 2 inches and I just put a little loop just like that. And then we're going to take this 6-step bail, and I do the 3rd step. This is 1, 2, 3. So I put this in there. You can leave a little bit of a space, or you can put it right up next to it. It doesn't really matter. And then we're just going to bend this around like that. So now we have our clasp. So I'm going to, right about where the middle is, I'm going to take my pliers, and I'm just going to give that a little bit of a swoop up. So you can have it shorter, longer, it's totally up to you. And then you cut off the extra. And I'm just gonna give that more of a little swoop, and there's our hook. And then I just take a nail file, which is another reason I like using either stainless steel or sterling silver, because you're not going to get that other color underneath. Make sure you've got no burrs. And we can either open this up and attach it, or you can put a jump ring. It's totally up to you. And it depends on which way you want your clasps to be able to connect. I like mine to be towards the outside like that. So then we're just going to close this back up. And again, make sure this is nice and closed. So that it can't come out. And then we can put it on and put it through the loop. And what I do is, once I put it through the loop, I give it a squeeze. And there we have it. And then I run it across my wrist, and if I feel like they're not quite sitting where I want them to sit, hang on here. There we go. I just kind of give them a little bit of a bend around my wrist. And I'm going to end up putting a clasp on here because it's not, hang on, it's not sitting the way I want it to sit. All right, so let's open this back up. Oh, come on. And then we're going to close this bad boy back up. And again, make sure that it is completely closed, because you don't want your clasp to come out, your little hooky thing. And then we will just put that back through, and that should sit much, much better. All right, let's try this again. And we're just going to put it through the little loop, and then we're going to give this clasp a squeeze. All right, now that's, but see how this one here is sitting kind of wonky on my arm? I'm just going to give that a little bit of a round. So I just do that on each little piece to make sure that it sits. See how much better this sits now? And there you have it. But look at how cute. You can make these into necklaces. I did a ring. That's my first attempt, so I'm going to do it again. Once I can get it mastered, I will do a video on making the ring. But yeah, these are just gorgeous, guys. I love, love, love these. And you can wear them as stackables. They're gorgeous. And even in the bigger stones, like on this one, I used a lot longer piece. And because it was more of a coin shape, you get a nice weave on either side. And then I just used the matching round ones to do the side pieces. So I did 2 of the bigger ones and then 2 of the little ones. So had I done all little ones, it would have been a smaller bracelet. So you can gauge the size too by, like this one, I had a focal point. So I had to have each side match. So I did one with 5 wraps and I did one with 3. So on this side, I had to do the same thing. I had the 5 and then I had to do a 3 because it had a focal one. Same thing with this one. I only put 1 on each side and then did my chain. But on this one, because I had no focal bead, I could go with just 5 of them. And this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well, but these are the bigger stones. So these are 6 millimeters. I believe these are 8. These are 6 as well. So these ones are probably, they're probably an 8 or a large 6, but you can see the difference. So, and on which one? This one, I ended up putting 2 of the silver beads to change it up. So yeah, I have been having fun. So I am going to end this video and try to get some sleep, get to bed early tonight. And I will put in the description box this mat and the wire that I used, the tool kit, because I did buy it as a kit. Let me see, anything else? The beads. So yeah, I will put that in the description. And I think what I'm going to do for my jewelry videos is I'm going to put like my website and everything, because I added one of my bracelets to my website, but I am going to start adding to my website my jewelry. So you might want to, just check that out every now and then. And everything is 20% off on my website. So I'll put my website, the Buy Me a Coffee, but I'm not going to put all of my resin links in the jewelry description. I will just put the stuff for the jewelry. So that way it's not so messy for you guys. Makes it easier to find stuff. I will, after Thanksgiving, I will show you, I'll put these through the tumbler for you and show you how that works to polish them. So I've got a bunch of jewelry. I've been playing with some like 3D kind of hoop earrings. So I was playing with these this afternoon. I can't quite get them to match, but they're close enough. I mean, they'd be two different ears. So, and then I want to put a little dangly in the middle. So I was working on those. But yeah, these are like all of my finished pieces. Like I did this and I ended up putting this clasp and gluing it. So if you'd like to see how I made this, let me know in the comments and I will gladly do that. And then I made this one. I love this one. And I just, did a little clasp on the back. Even though it's memory wire, I like that. I like having a clasp. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm old. And then this was the other one that I had made on a live. Not a live, but on a video. And then I just did this one with the bigger beads. And then I finished it with a stainless little silver ball. And then I made all the 7 chakras. I made a bracelet for each chakra. So this one here is the, I believe it's the crown chakra with the amethyst. And so I have each one is a little bit different. So these stones in the middle beside the bead are the corresponding color to activate the chakra. And then I did that on all of them. The center is actual precious stones, and then the rest are corresponding matching beads. And I didn't put clasps on these. And this one hooked itself. Hang on. I also had made this one. That's not a chakra one, but I did this one. I really like how this one came out with the square beads as well. And this is what happens when you don't close your loops all the way. Your wire works its way in there. Hang on. Take a round nose, and I'm going to open this up a little bit because I don't want to break it or bend it out of shape. There we go. All right, now let me rebend this. Actually, I'm gonna, let's I'm gonna snip. This one is just a little bit too big. So I'm just going to, there we go. Now it's closed. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's all the 7 chakras. And even, I mean, these would even look good all together on your wrist as well. You know, anybody that likes stacking, other than the charms, you know, would probably be in the way. But yeah, so I do have, you know, I made this one. So this I will run through the polisher with, you know, these ones. And I got to fix, one of my charms came off, my little loop thing. It's right there. It just opened up because I didn't close it right. So I've got to fix that. But yeah. And these are all my kind of oopses in here. Different, you know, I've been trying different styles. I did these. These came out really good, except for I can't get them big. I can only make them small. So these will probably be, I'll probably put them for like children. Yeah. And then I do want to revisit these. I really like the look of these, but I want to do them in the stainless steel. So now that I'm getting a little bit better and, you know, bending it, I will be revisiting that too at a later date. So, and then I made this real little dainty charm bracelet. So that's ready for the tumbler as well. And I made this one. So yeah, I've been playing. Now I've just got to get them all on cards and in bags like this, so they're ready to sell. And then I came up with, I was trying to make a design, but again, this is a big, you know, it's a big bracelet. It would fit way up my arm. So I'm still working out sizes, you know, like anything, but yeah. So that is it for today, guys. I hope you guys all have a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you on the next video, guys. Bye.